I'm here to earn my future rights. Notebook open, ego closed. Brick by brick, the legend grows. Small reps, big flakes, day by day. I don't someday, I today. If it's hard, that's how I know I'm on the path where winners go. Level up, no cheat codes, no capes, just calloused hands and cleaner takes. Level up, turn can to weight, I grind, I learn, I iterate. XP hits, I hear that click. New skill, new move, I feel like this. Level up, watch me unlock, I'm on a mission, baby. Watch the how it paused it twice. Did it wrong, then did it nice. Failure tried to clown my plan. I turned it into training sand. Feedback stings, but it's a map. I patch the holes, I close the gap. No shortcuts through the dragon's den. I fight the boss again, again. Every miss is data gold. I'm getting sharper, getting bold. Level up, no cheat codes, no games, just calloused hands and cleaner takes. Level up, turn can to weight, I grind, I learn, I iterate. XP hits, I hear that click. The skill in move, I feel like this. Level up, watch me unlock, I'm on a mission, baby. I don't need perfect, I need progress. I don't need hype, I need practice. 10,000 tracks, cool, here's 11. I'm forging thunder out of whatever. Yeah. When doubt gets loud, turn it down and turn my focus up right now. Level up. No cheat codes, no capes, just calloused hands and cleaner takes. Level up, came to wait, I climb, I learn, I iterate. XP hits, I hear that clip. The skill, new move, I feel like this. Level up, what's it all to turn the end alarm clock throws a right hook. Ding. I lace up bread to my own thing. Coffee's loud, my playlist bites. I'm here to earn my future rights. Notebook open, ego closed. Brick by brick, the legend grows.
We made it to another Monday, kids. It's January the 19th, 2026. And today, this is all about leveling up. That's where we're going, because I keep getting more and more amazed at what really is possible in this modern era. But okay, like I say, I kind of rolled out of bed a little late, ish. You know, in a perfect world, which I'm working towards, ish, right? I'm working on, I want to get the day, I like working early. Right, the earlier I can get up to get things done, the happier I am. Because if I can get everything that I really want to focus on and get done before the day starts, yeah, I'm down with it. Good morning, Damien. Good to see you, buddy. So anyway, but yeah, so I slept into almost 7 o'clock. But here's the kicker. In doing so, and with the tools in hand, oh, we've got snow this week, possibly. Okay, well, I appreciate the heads up. And check on Brandon with Storm Track 360, see how he's in the process of doing the move and everything. So I don't know where he's at there. I've been so focused in on like finding my place in this modern world universe thing again. I love the fact that I've had 5 decades now to go through so many different changes in life, you know, and it's appreciated, really. Now, in each one of those moments, it was like, no, damn it, no, again, It's like I was the cooler for certain things. It's like, I'll go do this. Oh, the industry died. I'll go do this. Oh, they went out of business. Wasn't my fault. Was not my fault. But anyway, I've learned all the way, right? Lessons, and it has been quite the super speed weekend of the things that I love to learn. I love to learn, and the thing that I love secondly to learning is teaching. That's a little selfish, right? Right. But at the same time, if I don't learn, I can't teach, you know? And boy, things clicked so well between last night and this morning. I am just absolutely dumbfounded with what all's happened. Excuse me. And I'm dry as a bone, too. I tell you, my gosh. Oh, man. So I was trying to get caught up. Let's see. I went ahead and I put the link to the show right now on the Facebook, because this one, it's already a humdinger because we showed up, right, buddy? Right. The ones who don't get that, that is on them. So we're done with all that. But I was just getting caught up on the world. See, here's the thing too. Let me get over here. I'll share with you as we go. So, let's see. There we go. Okay. So what's going on in the world? I like to do have Gemini, Google's Gemini. If you're not using this tool and you're still on the internet, you stop it, because Gemini is just like the Google search on super steroids. That's it. So I prompt it to give me a 24-hour news recap and update. And so all this stuff, everybody's playing around with a Greenland tariff. That's actually, I gotta say, I'm blown away with the strategy that can really be this tariff thing. Because again, if our goal, my goal is, I would like to not see other human beings being removed from the planet in a very big boom boom way. To use tariffs to make leverage in negotiations versus big boom booms, I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, people, so here's the thing too, is like, in watching all that, we've forgotten that sometimes life gets hard and you have to do hard things to make things work. You know, and this isn't politics. Things have been positioned as it's solely a political thing. It's totally one side versus the other side. No. It's a matter of, okay, if we had an election and the majority said, okay, we're going in this direction, or enough of the majority said we're going in this direction, we go in that direction, with the hope and understanding that they were right and that the people that we put in are going to do the right thing. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But we have to work together in a commonality to be unified as a nation. But there are forces that have absolutely divided that and wrecked that. And I will most certainly point my finger at the media. The media apparatus. I'm not going to even say mainstream media because that's just stupid. But just the whole media apparatus. Because now it's escalated from just compromising voices inside of like the ones with the bigger microphones to the ones with the smaller microphones, like myself. But I do everything I can to be as respectful as I can of the difference between fact and opinion. Like right now, I'm sharing my opinion on why I think tariffs. That's not bad. Better than a big boom boom. So anyway, here we go. Now let's go conspiracy, full on. But is it conspiracy, or is it just simply what's happening, been planned, and coming next? And that would be Davos 2026. There they go again, the World Economic Forum. Insert boo hiss. Kicked off in Switzerland today. Inequality, AI are the agenda. Let's see. They're looking forward to, now this will be fun. Trump there at Davos. That will be must-see TV, because Trump has become, in his positioning and narrative, he's like what I would have always thought a lame duck president should always look like. What? I don't care. Read in between the lines, right? He just again, this is his second term. He cannot run again as of right now. It's not legal, regardless of the talk that gets put out there. As of right now, our policy inside of our Constitution is you get to do it twice, and that's it. Doesn't have to be back to back, but you only get to do it twice. But to just float it and then watch people run with, he's going to. No. You need to get, if you have not read it, you need to get it. I don't know if I can get to it. But anyway, Scott Adams' Win Bigly. That book, is great because again it helps in teaching persuasion and persuasion tactics, and he focuses in as a case study, if you will, on how in his observations of Donald Trump since 2015 into 2016 is like he Trump's methods, whether you like them or not, know how they work. They just do, as far as like getting the attention one needs, amping everything up to like way up here to the ridiculous, but then it finally comes back down and meeting in the middle, which is actually kind of the top, but in the middle there, and an agreement is made, which is what he wanted in the first place, not the extreme at the top, but right there in the middle where everybody's on the same. It is very smart. Anyway, but Davos, boo hiss. Major Syria breakthrough. The Syrian government and the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic, I almost read that as demonic, but Democratic forces have signed a comprehensive ceasefire and integration agreement, and it marks a massive shift in the region's decade-long conflict. Okay. Well, there'll be another one that we'll say was a big win. Oh, what's going on? Let's see. In the U.S. Minnesota military standby, the Pentagon has placed approximately, oh my God, 1,500 active duty soldiers on standby for potential deployment. Man, here's the thing. It's like, that is what it is. But again, Alicia and I were talking, and Caitlin, she was part of this conversation too. When we get to where we are, right? Okay, if there is a law, it is the law. And we all have to follow said law. If we don't like the law, we have a process to go through to attempt to change the law, right? That's how it works. That's how it's worked for, well, we hope that it works for longer too. But when it's been allowed to run roughshod, and then it has to be cleaned up. It's sort of like whenever you have a kid, and I see parents do this, and I loathe it. But you have a kid, and with your kid, if what I will call a good parent, when the kid does something that's out of sorts, right? It could be small, it could be big. Odds are, though, if you do that, take this recommendation versus letting it get big, it never will get big. So my point is this. Okay, you have a kid, and I see people do this. It drives me nuts. The kid is poking, yelling, screaming, doing something that you don't want them to do, right? Or you wouldn't think they would want them to do. You wouldn't want your kid to do it, right? So what do? Well, let's say you can go to the reactionary stuff. You swat them, you take away something, you ground them, you punish them. Or what about this? As soon as it happens, stop in the moment, look at the kid and say, hey, listen, don't. Why? Here. And actually give them a reason, not just because I said so, right? Explain to them, say, listen, I don't want you to do this because there's a potential that you are going to hurt yourself, look like a fool, or continue to get on my nerves, or it's going to escalate to where it's just going to be bad. So stop now. You don't want that, do you? Of course you don't. So don't. And as such, normally you can curtail the behavior and actually just get them on the right track. But the parents who just let it go and let it go and let it go until they finally snap. The kid at some point, especially how long that goes. I mean, because it could just be in that moment, it goes on for like an hour or a day or a week or a month. And the kid doesn't know any different. Because if you were allowed to do something, nobody seemed to care, well, you're going to keep doing it. And then when they finally snap, you're confused. And, that's just that. It's like, and it goes into adulthood too. I'm sure, I know I've worked in places to where people would be allowed to get by with stuff because, just kind of skate whatever that particular rule or what's what I'm looking for, policy or whatever, just kind of skate it a little bit, then get skated a little bit more. And the next thing you know, something's done totally different than it's supposed to be done. And as such, then whenever the big guys are coming to town, you have to clean all that mess up. And then everybody's all mad and pissed off. And it's like, well, if you would have just followed this step in the book. Now, I'm not saying I've always done that because I haven't. But I know now, and as I get older and older, that if I did that, there'd never be a problem. Because if I would have just followed their steps, and this is why I do that, to where like anything I go into, I do everything in my power as my own personal self to say, okay, what are your steps? You show me your steps. We will dance all night long, no problem. I'll never step on your toes, and you probably won't step on mine because we are on the same page doing this dance. Because that way, if the other human in this equation does the deviation, it's on them, not on me. Because in those things, it's a matter of trading time for money, and I'm not going to waste time because they got done. So anywhere there. So, there you go. And I use that analogy for what's happening in a lot of the places where people are going from protesting to rioting, because we do have, our constitutional right to protest, but there are certain rules about that, guidelines. Makes sense. Yeah, let's see. What else we got? The Supreme Court gun ruling. The High Court is today beginning scrutiny of a landmark Hawaii gun law case, which legal experts believe could redefine may issue versus shall issue permit standards across the country. This is one of those things that seems very, very simple. The right to bear and keep arms. But when you got people who do stupid things with guns, and we've definitely evolved into a culture to where instead of just holding them accountable, we do what? We let them run until someone gets mad. Oopsie. And there it is. Oh, and today is Martin Luther King's Day. It's the observation of, in many U.S. cities, traditional marches are being met with counter-protests reflecting a deeply polarized, oh my God. See, and that's the thing. It's like everything has to be political now. Why? Stop it. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. There was and again, of course, history is 20, the perspective of history is 2020, because the more we go and the further we get and the more research is available and everything else, that things could be found out that certain pedestalization things weren't really true, but it was good propaganda at the time. So what? I don't know. But anyway, I appreciate the good that come from what Martin Luther King Jr. put forward. And the rest of the stuff is what it is, political fodder forever. Train collision in Spain. That's terrible. 21 people died. Karachi mall fire. Oh, and the other thing, what else is going on? Yeah. Now, the unusual thing, there's talking about parts of the Florida Panhandle are seeing snow for the second consecutive year, which is a rare weather event that has local authorities issuing icing warnings for roads. Well, here's the thing. That's pretty intense. I'd like to get Gar's take. I know he's not in the Panhandle, but it's like, again, Florida to get this up. But I also remember when I was a kid, and the visual really stuck in my head when, I can't remember what, it was in the 80s, the early 80s, I believe. There was a really crazy cold front that went through Florida that brought the snow and the ice and everything. The visual that stuck in my head all these years later was on the orange trees. The oranges were like, I say dripping, but they were dripping with ice. It froze. So that year's orange crop and the commodity that is oranges and orange juice, like in the movie Trading Places. Anyway, it got jacked up because of the weather. And so, but that visual is still there. Still there. Falling iguana season. You got to tell me about that one, Damien. I am not familiar with falling iguanas. I don't know. Tell me, enlighten me, show me, tell me. I like learning. But again, today is all about leveling up, right? And that's like one of those things that whereas I come and talk to you of a morning over a coffee, I've been, again, this has been like an evolution. We're on episode 79 now. 79 times. It would be 80, but I skipped a day because it was like, no, don't do it today. And I'm glad, because that was like at this transitional point where we are, where it's like, okay, that kind of clicked whenever we did the walkthrough. No. Excuse me. Before we did the walkthrough on how to take a 2D image and turn it into a real world thing, our monkey, Lancelot Link in the Superman suit, he is so darn fun. That was a fun jaunt through how to something. But anyway, whenever I woke up and realized that one day, you know what, just do something, have some fun, do a morning show, bro. And I have. But it's different because it's not. Again, I like to go through the headlines because I am doing everything that I can to stay off of socials, any of them, don't care. So I'm not doom scrolling or getting caught in the trap of that, because it's easy to get sucked in because you're designed to do that. But it's good to know what's going on. And this is where I will tip my hat to Google Gemini, and I've used ChatGPT in the past, and it did great as far as getting me up to date on the past 24 hours. What's going on? What are we looking forward to today, maybe this week, that of significance or potential significance? It's like staying in the know like that. It's like, reading the newspaper every morning. But moving on. So I like doing that, but I don't. But again, I want to stress that I'm not in my presentations, I have no desire to be political. I'm not. I have my opinions. I have my vote. So do you. And if you want to discuss them in civilized, polite conversation, we could do that. But we're not going to do it online. On the whole, I don't much care for that, because that's evolved into, instead of like conversation and debate about things, into more just gotcha, yell, scream, no logic involved in a discussion, or sympathy, empathy, or compassion. So, nah, I don't care to do that. But I point things out, and if something jumps out, I'm like, here's my take on it. It might help. I don't know. We'll find out. Hmm. Let's see. So, checking this out. Oh, wow. Wow, that's interesting. This whole thing with the falling iguana season. Wow. That would be something to see, and absolutely terrifying. Can you? I don't even want to think about that. It's like, because iguanas, they're monsters, right? I'm not saying I hate on iguanas, but they're monsters. Um, can you imagine that? They freeze, they fall out of the trees, they fall into the brush, and the freezing temperatures remain. But then as it starts to warm up and you go for a nice little walk just to get the blood pumping, you're finally getting out of your cabin fever and things are thawing out and you're having a wonderful, glorious time. And then all of a sudden, the bushes start rumbling. And you're like, wait, what is this? You remember you're in Florida. They have alligators in Florida. There's a bush rumbling by my feet. And that little monster who just now woke up from being frozen is not terribly happy, I'm sure. I wouldn't be. So he comes out of his cryogenic slumber, and he's madder than hell. But you still think it might be an alligator in the bush, because Florida has alligators. We didn't think about the iguanas falling from the trees. Yeah, I don't want that. Be a good way to get the heart pumping, though, right? Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, everything else is, you got the foosball, the NFL playoff fever, class of 2024 for the quarterbacks: Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix. I like that name. I hope he wins. Bo Nix. Yep. I'll root for a name. I don't even know what team he's on. Continue to dominate headlines as they lead their respective teams deeper into the playoff bracket. I'm good for that. Well, back to the unusual weather thing. Did you see the stuff out of Russia? My buddy over in Poland, he had sent me a clip, and I thought it was AI generated because the snow was so nuts. Let's see if I can get to that, because why not navigate this thing, make it more interactive and such. And there's that, and here we go. Excuse me. Here we go. Yeah, honest to goodness, when I saw this clip, let me get it queued up and muted and come over here. It's crazy. Cue it up. Let me bring it over. And then we are going to mute the desktop. Okay, that should work. All right, so let me hit the magic button. Okay. But dig this. Yeah, see, I was thinking it was like AI, because as you watch, look at that. But yeah, this was like a freak snowstorm there in Kamchatka. Either way it goes. Wow. You want to talk about unusual weather? There's some unusual weather for you. Now, I'm not saying that that's geoengineering, but that might be geoengineering. Wow. Imagine waking up to that on Thursday morning there, Damien. Dude, what if we did? What if we actually woke up on Thursday morning and that's what it looked like outside? Oh my God. Oh man. I don't want to put that out there. People be scared. We will most certainly be having a giant run on bread and milk for milk sandwiches. Whew. I don't want to be responsible for that. But you may want to put some of your stock tokens into the bread and milk people company stuff. I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, 21 minutes into the 8 o'clock hour, 24 degrees outside, and it's cloudy. Okay, I don't know for sure, but that's what the machine's telling me. I haven't been out there in, 20 plus minutes now, because I was getting ready to talk to you. And I got coffee. thank God for coffee, my second cup of the day. And again, I woke up at 7, right? Here's the thing. And like this level up thing and what I was working on just last night, because I hadn't really thought about it. I was working, the project that I'm working on is actually for my buddy Jason Jones, aka the Space Cowboy, aka the Grand Poobah of Mid-States Wrestling here locally. And JJ and I have been talking about a lot. We've always talked about stuff and have fun. But anyway, getting more, because he's got some great 3D merch that I want to give props for dude because I don't want to say it wrong. So anyway, he had these made. Let me come over here, and they're great. They're like in the style of the LJN figures of old that are now back again, like everything else. But anyway, so there's the Space Cowboy LJN figures. Anyway, I'm going to work on helping him get those back in play without having to hand paint them. Those are beautiful. The work on those are awesome. The hand painting and everything. But we do have the potential or the ability to like multicolor print, right? So it could take out a lot of the work on that. And so again, leveling up. And so anyway, so that one in particular, I had done the scan. Well, not really a scan. It was a picture that then the 2D turned it into 3D, just like we did the other day, right? And so now it needs some fine tuning and tweaking. So again, that goes back into that level up category to where improving the skills as I go. Last night was a huge breakthrough for me personally, and also proves my point where I try to just excuse me. I've had to every day is a system or part of the system, and there we are, right? You get better every day incrementally. Okay, so pardon me, I got a little distracted there because I was going with the story. Okay, so if you were back on the podcast, what day was that? Today is Monday. We didn't do it yesterday, we did it the day before. So Saturday morning when we did that, walking through the process. Now through that process where we got to the monkey, ta-da! It's a static monkey, right? In a very judgmental looking pose. So, and that's pretty much most of the things that I personally have done. Because I just like, okay, now I'm ready to go to the next level. I want to go to the next level. I want to get articulation built into these things. But again, I'm not a modeler. I'm not a designer in that fashion. I want to be, but the time that I've tried to be, I wanted to do that. But again, the time to invest and being able to focus in and learn how to use programs like Blender to do the 3D modeling and manipulations and such. And then I've done some with, simple rudimentary things like the action pad stands, right? Actually they're adaptable for every type of figure you have. But anyway, I was ready to go to that next level because I was tired of just printing off things that don't move. And that's why whenever I find things on Maker World, like this tung sahur, little, supposed to be wood, but just looks like crap with a stick. I'm really fascinated when it comes to the moving parts, especially the ones that are print in place. So those like wiggly legs there, yeah, they printed all at one time. Well, it's like the joints themselves. I'm just fascinated with that. I just find that truly interesting. And then of course I had to put it together. But there's other ones which I don't have handy to show you, but other ones that are print in place that are also articulated. They have the joints and everything that just they print out and then pop, it's done. It's cool. So I'm working on getting to that point. And I will, because why? That's what I do. So anyway, I had an idea and a flash of how to, okay, well, I have a character, if you're not familiar. I created this character, oh gosh, in 2004. No, Jesus. I created the character in 1995 as a voice character for a radio show that I've talked about a lot. He could very well be, Tung Sahur could very well be Mr. Hankey's uncle, cousin, best friend, brother, former roommate. Any way it goes, they could hang and nobody would think anything about it. But it does, if he was his uncle, Mr. Tung Sahur was Mr. Hankey's uncle, that'd be kind of weird because Mr. Hankey doesn't have legs. But Tung Sahur does have legs. So now we would know that poor Mr. Hankey, who has arms but no legs, oh God, that poor piece of crap. Anyway, moving on. 1995, I created a voice for the Halloween special I've told you guys about. I had a little bit of a Crypt Keeper thing, but I wasn't really thinking about that when I did it. You know, I was sitting in the production room, and I wanted to build some bumps to go in between the bits and going in and out of breaks and stuff. And so while I was sitting there, and then the idea came up for a voice to use, "Hello there, children," right? And so this voice was there. But okay, a voice with no personality or story is okay, whatever. So then I started working on who was this voice, and so what came out at that time, um, we I sat down, and again, I needed segues to go from clip to clip. And I was like, well, who's hosting this? And I had some funny little bits that were written, and I didn't want to voice it myself, so I came up with the character voice, and the character was. We weren't for sure if he was live or dead, but it was rumored that the station was haunted. And there were plenty of things that I personally experienced there that made me go, "Oh yeah, that's okay, all right, uh-huh." One to the point where even one of the interns got so scared that whenever I got to the station one morning, the kid was hiding under a desk in the newsroom, and as soon as I got there, he cut out, and I never saw him again. Something scared him so damn bad. He hid underneath that desk, and as soon as he could break out, he broke out. So that was interesting. But that's a true story. Anyway, so I was kind of going along with that. This was a former radio performer. That's who he was. So he was there. He was kind of not necessarily trapped in the machine, or maybe he was. Never really defined that. But anyway, he was just coming back to his glory days as a radio presenter host. And so he was hosting the bits and acting and interacting with stuff that was occurring in those bits, you know. So anyway, didn't have a name, but I had the voice. So the voice was there. And welcome to the 1995 horrific Halloween extravaganza. There was the voice. And so from there, I just stuck. I liked it a lot, but it didn't do much with it, but it never went away. So and again, it was like, I would start writing for the character for other audio stuffs. Used it along the way in different roles and stuff. But then 2002 is when I came up with the look, but I hadn't attached the two yet. I was actually 2002, had moved back to Little Rock from a brief stint in Searcy, Arkansas. And while I was it was a Halloween party came up. I like Halloween. Anyway, and I got invited and didn't really have a costume per se, but who shows up at a Halloween party without a costume? Don't be lame. So anyway, I found that I had some makeup around and a little prosthetic chin, nose piece. Didn't like the nose piece, but the chin looked kind of cool. And and then I actually had one of the station shirts still. And it was a long sleeve white button down shirt thing. And I had my Stetson. It was a black Stetson. It wasn't a traditional cowboy hat. It was, or what you think of when you think of cowboy hat. It was, what the hell style was that? It was the one that was, it was flat and round. It didn't have that indentation there in the front. So anyway, I gathered all that up, and I kind of sculled up the face. I can show you, because I put it all, I gathered it all up for some reference pics yesterday. Let's see here. Let me get there. I will get there. Which one? And here's the thing. It's like Gar has seen him and used him, or not used him, but seen him. So why is that? Okay, let's see if I can blow this up. We're going into the past. 1 second. Okay, so here's the character. Hope this doesn't get flagged because I have a toy pistolas in my hands. So anyway, so here's the character. This is Matt, and he didn't have a name yet. He was this zombie cowboy. He was an undead disc jockey, right? Because again, there's the shirt, and you could have seen the logo right here, but I actually put I mocked up a bullet hole there, so he got shot in the heart. So anyway, so there's the character, and in time. Let me come back over here, talk on the next one. This is fun. I like doing it like this. This is great. But anyway, as time went on, now that was actually taken in 2004. The character himself, 2002. So fast forward 2 years, 2004 comes along. No, 2005, excuse me. 2005 comes along, and I got an opportunity to put together or to get some airtime to do a horror host thing, right? Can I zoom in on that one? No. Why don't you let me do that? Because that's too small. I'm looking for options here. Well, that sucks. Why won't you let me zoom in? I'm looking to blow it up some because it's too small. You won't be able to see this. Maybe. Hold on. No. Damn it. Okay. Well, lean into the screen, would you? And I'll just go full screen with this. All right. If you lean in, here is the cast of what became Maxwell Marx's Macabre Mayhem. And so Macabre Mayhem with Maxwell Marx, and you see my character there in the middle. And I played all the characters. Right over here in this corner is Bella Blunstein, kind of the traditional vampire, except for he was a pitchman, more so than he was a bloodsucker, but of a different sort. Here in this window, this is Chucky B. Good. It's a disembodied head floating around inside of a Wurlitzer jukebox. Because again, he was a disc jockey who got electrocuted on air by way of faulty equipment, and his soul got trapped in that particular record player that they parted out to rebuild this Wurlitzer. Down here is Tim E. Permitting. He was the producer, the line runner, and a pain in the ass because he had to keep everything on time and on budget. So he was a great producer though. And then here was Edward D. Wood Jr. I was kind of on an Ed Wood kick at the time. And so I voiced a thing and I animated the mouth in like that Conan O'Brien style at the time, to where he was doing reviews of independent flicks, right? Because I had done that. I was like, so I love promoting other people creating stuff. So anyway, there's the basic background and look of who Max was. Now let's see if this one will actually show itself. This is a better one. This is where you'll also see the incredible work of our friend Gar. So let me come back over here, transition over. Okay, so now this picture up here in this corner, and well, no, this is long before I met Gar and Scully and everybody. So right here, this was the original look. And I actually, for the show thing, I had gotten one of those colored contact lenses, which, because I really wanted to add to that full pop. Because this picture here with the traditional looking cowboy hat, that was done, gosh, I don't even remember what year now, but it was way back then. But anyway, it was, I could do it online with some character generator thing at the time. And then some Photoshop later, and I was able to develop out the calendar. But this part right here, this poster that this image was used in, was like promo material stuff that I had put together, right? And yeah, but then here, the big one here, Gar had done this one. Line drawn art, I still have it. It's tucked away nice and safe, and I absolutely love it. It's beautiful because, like I say, it's pencil. The line art is beautiful. The white, I don't know if you would call that charcoal or what, but the accents and the white there, just beautiful work. Gar is such an incredible artist. If you're not totally plugged into that by now, oh my God, the man is incredible. Well, he's similar in look to a Jonah Hex, other than not, you know. And a lot of the iterations, and it just, because the nose was actually not supposed to be like the hole itself. It was supposed to be like, you know, like grease paint that you use to cover up the nose, but the nose was still there. But the way a lot of people see it, like Jonah Hex, they take out the nose, and his face is not 100% skull. It's really it's this horror host type character, and he's supposed to look like that. Anyway, but that was fun, and the red eye actually came at that time. That was back when Gar and I first started talking all those years ago, and so probably around, I don't know, it was in the 2010 2015 era, somewhere off in there. But anyway, I was using a program called Crazy Talk to animate stuff, because you could move the mouth and all of that fun stuff. So anyway, but that was the evolution of the character of Max as far as his look and everything else. I've done some other stuff since then. I was going to pull one out, but I don't have it handy, so I won't. But anyway, this is a cool frame. I'll show you this one. This is cool. This is like from like one of the scenes and everything. It was just that extreme close-up type thing. And you'll see the character is supposed to have the grease paint nose. That's it. That's just the way he is. But again, in certain iterations, it doesn't work. Fast forward to probably 2010, and I don't think it's in this folder, but I had a local artist, Anthony Hunter. That's probably 2016, I think. anyway, Anthony Hunter, he's up in Hollister, Missouri. Great guy. Love his work. Um, and I like to keep it handy. But, here we go. Let me pull this out real quick. If you're not following Anthony on the Facebook and all of his other stuff, but his character, Zamara, is fantastic. And I love his art style. I just do. I really, really do. And he does great things. I mean, really beautiful art. So, Anthony, if you catch this, you know it's true. I love you, bro. But and then also the Silly Squirrel comics. Those are fun too. But if you follow Anthony, and if you're not following Anthony, go look for him. I'll see if I can find his stuff. Put the link in. But great stuff. Great stuff from Anthony. So anyway, in all of that, and then the character, the story of Max really evolved too. Just because, again, now that's, gosh, 20 years ago, right? With me doing the whole thing. And nowadays, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the guy on camera because I don't. It's too much of a hassle, more hassle than I want. I brought it back sometimes and done it at places, but I don't want to do it. You know, Gar is a dedicated man, and he just is. I know that's his regular skin tone, but to take the time to actually comb his hair, I totally appreciate that. But anyway, I love building off of that brand. And like, well, okay, case and point. This one's fun. So I had an idea flash. It's like, would it be fun to have a themed restaurant? I love themed restaurants. I just think they're neat. I think they're fun. So I said, well, wouldn't it be fun to have one with Max? So here we go. Are you ready? So Max's Monster Burger Kitchen. The sinisterly savory seasonings. And that's the original there because it's all built around the Monster Burger. Right? It was fun. Anyway, so, but now this is in early 2021 or in 2021 somewhere when the ability to start generating AI images came on scene by way of like Bing from Microsoft. And so I got playing with it and voila. So I got the new iteration of Max in animated form and was able to build out the rest of the graphics for the circle, the sticker that you would like put on the burger, right, on the wrapper. So anyway, that was a lot of fun to play with. And so I did. Because I like that. It's kind of cool to have your own IP or character that I can bring back anytime I want in different scenarios, try new things with. Again, that's like when it comes to being a collector of things and toys, they're the greatest teachers like they were when we were kids. That hasn't changed. The playthings are the things we learn with. Remember that, it's in my book. So anyway, then, okay. Fast forwarding, okay, I don't remember what year. Anyway, it's been in the span of the AI evolution of things. This actually happened before. This was like 2018, I think. Anyway, there was one site where you can like generate like tabletop gaming. It had to be 2020. Okay. Anyway, 2020. Anyway, I found one of those sites where you can generate characters for like your gaming for like Warhammer or D&D or whatever. And you prompt it, you give it images, and then it does the 3D modeling at that point. A lot more complex. There were more steps involved to get that to work. And it was very looser. You couldn't get as detailed as you can now. So anyway, I made the in-action figure of Max, and I kept him about 3 3/4 inch scale, and I built a box. The box art looks like and he looks like the Marx toys, the Marx Western toys. And so I went with that, and that was fun. And I've got them around here somewhere. I put them to the side. I don't know where. But anyway, that's what I had because I wanted an action figure of this character, damn it. And then as the AI has come along, because I've done custom Mego stuff, you know, but I repurpose a lot to make that happen. So I never considered myself a designer at all. That's all changed, kids, because what's happened now. Let me get back over here. And I'm going to show you things that have blown my mind. Okay. Well, so in this whole process of everything, right? This is one of the potential stories of Max where, here we go. Now, this is great because when I was using, I don't remember which one, I think it was still Bing at this time, but I was able to take all of my elements and put in there and generate this particular person playing Max. There's more to the story. But anyway, yeah, so, and it got it so right. I was just blown away what all could be done, right? So in doing that, and then let me find, that's the only reference from that particular generation. But anyway, but it grew to where the way the technology allowed for it. No, I don't want to do that. Get back over here, see if I can show you. It's not there. I'm not going to dig too far right now. Anyway, in building that out and having that image to work with, ever since, here we go. Oh, this will work. Character in Max inside of like that traditional Mego form, right? And style with the cloth costume. And he's just awesome. He just is. So this is where, yes, Jonah Hex I'm familiar with, but as you can see, this ain't Jonah Hex. I mean, there's 1,000,001 skeleton cowboys out there, but none of them have the personality of my pal Maxwell Marks. There are pieces. That's kind of a hint of what's to come. But anyway, I took that and then I had changed the pose. I told Google's Gemini, using Nano Banana, repose him, giving him a neutral pose. And he did. I'm like, okay, awesome. Now what I wanted to do is, in generating the parts, to be able to make an action figure, not just a statuesque thing, but an actual action figure with arms and legs and heads and everything that can move. Going into the engineering of this thing. So I started playing with it. I'll show you one shot of that. And here we go. So now here's like the exploded view, right? So here's the exploded view of that character, to which then I was able to go in, isolate each one of those pieces, and make the individual parts. How freaking amazing is that? So, and then as you've seen now, then you can print those. And then, again, I'm still working on the design and geometry of the parts, so they'll actually click together. But I ran with this little prototype last night because I just had to have them in my hand. So now the head's too big. That's been fixed. But there he is. And all of the standard articulation points are there, right? The waist and the elbows and hips. There we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 points of articulation here, because what I wound up deciding to do for now, and the way I've got it at the moment until I get better at like doing some cutaway sculpting and everything, is I just connected the head to the torso. Because again, this is just for me. Now, overnight, I blew them back up to a scale I actually want to work with. And you can kind of see it better. See if I can put one more part on there. It looks like crap right now, because again, I still got to engineer the connection points, right? So this morning I'm just using something very, very basic and old school. I just used some paper, but dig this. So he is now totally soon to be, except the head. Like I say, I just went ahead and put the head together with the torso, because frankly, I don't need it to move. I don't. This is just for my own thing. I'm not looking to make a mass market product, but damn it, I wanted him a little bit cooler. See, I'm just using paper as the skeleton in there. But yeah, but all of the parts are in scale and they work. The logic and engineering is there. Ta-da! And the best part about this is when you go from where I was, where you saw how this whole thing started, to where it is now, and the ability to do things, mind-blowing. I wish I had that damn in-action figure handy, but I know it's like right over there. There's only like 4 boxes that could potentially be in, and I went through 3, so it's probably in that 4th, but I'm not gonna do that right now, because I got to get to things. But anyway, it's been an amazing adventure in leveling up skills, and this is why I will once again, I'm going to drive this in with you guys. Every single day, create something. Every day. I don't care if it's just one line on a piece of paper. Put it on there. And then see what happens tomorrow. The next day, the next day. The compounding effect of letting your imagination and creativity go. Shoot, dang it. It doesn't matter what you do. I mean, again, the examples I get, people will get hung up on this thinking, well, I don't care about making an action figure. Well, you don't have to. That's not the point. What do you do that with just a little bit of focus, like one line is what, 10 seconds. Then if you can take that 10 seconds and give yourself 10 minutes, which is yours, it's yours. You can totally avoid me anytime. Don't listen to my crap. Do your own crap. And but you take 10 minutes of this time together to be able to just jot down, brainstorm some notes. And then maybe one of those hit and you're like, you know what, maybe I'll give this a whole hour's worth of my attention. See what happens next. And yeah, it's just amazing. It's like, this is how you escape the BS that is follow your passion. Okay, no, enjoy your passion. That's why it's there. Could it become a business thing? Maybe, but what part of it is business? What part of it is pleasure? Understand the difference, because if not, you'll wreck both. Trust me, I've done it. So anyway, yeah, it's fun, and I like it a lot. And level up, level up. Speaking of which, so it's 8:46. This morning's show theme that came in, the level up thing. Again, I got up at 7 o'clock, and I have to take care of the animals first. So I'm bumbling around trying to get my coffee going while I'm getting all of them fed or outside or all the above. We have 2 dogs on the inside that have to stay separated because Zuma the Chiweenie is an asshole. Jack the Wonder Dog is the Wonder Dog for a reason. And then the 2 cats, Simon and Husker. And they are terrorists if they don't have snacks, which they do not right now. They have other food. They're fine. They're not starving. But they're terrorists without the snacks. And then the 2 outside kitties out back, Boots and Gamora, and Slick out front. So we have an animal farm, if you will. And then the roosters. I don't mess with them until after the show. But anyway, going through all that, getting back here to sit down and map out, because I knew I was going to talk about this, because we've talked about it before. But I was like, well, what does it do? What does it mean? Why does it matter? And level up came to mind. It was like 8:28 maybe. So in the process of being outside with Zuma, told ChatGPT, I want a song like this. And I told it all about it, what I wanted it to do, what I wanted it to sound like, and voila. It blasted out some lyrics, the style guide, and then when I got back inside, I plugged it into producer.ai. First run was good, but there were a couple of things I needed to tweak. I tweaked them. Second run was fantastic. And that is the theme song, or the lead-in song for this morning's show, which I'm going to play in a second again as I lead out, because I got to get back to work. It's Monday. We're leveling up all the way across the board, and it's going to be fun. So come play where you are. Maybe... and now it's funny though, because again, in this process, it's like goals are great, but figure out your destiny, your journey to that destination. And you do that by way of systems and steps and systems. And then they start to compound up in your skill and talent stack. And you'll be amazed at what all you actually can do that may be different from your passion, that turns into something that could either be profitable or, more importantly, something that is amazing for your life in general. Or just fun for the moment. But you know how to do it now. You learned something. Anyway, I'm going to close this thing out, and we're going to roll that again. And everybody have a great day. We'll have some fun. Level up this Monday. You can do it by simply taking one step, period. That's it.
Alarm clock throws a right hook. Ding. I lace up bread to my own thing. Coffee's loud, my playlist bites. I'm here to earn my future rights. Notebook open, ego closed. Brick by brick, the legend grows. Small reps, big flex, day by day. I don't someday, I today. If it's hard, that's how I know I'm on the path where winners go. Level up, no cheat codes, no capes, just callous hands and cleaner takes. Level up, turn into it, I grind, I learn, I iterate. XP hits, I hear that click. New skill, new move, I feel like this. Level up, watch me unlock, I'm on a mission, baby. Watch the how it paused it twice. Did it wrong, then did it nice. Failure tried to clown my plan. I turned it into training.